YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got a pretty exciting pickup here, at least for myself. Pretty happy with what I got today. I went to a number of different thrift shops, went to a Value Village, another Value Village in fact, a couple of them, and didn't get a whole bunch of stuff, but the things that I got I'm really pleased with. So let's get started right now. The first thing that I wanted to show you actually is not a game related, but it came from the first thrift shop that I went into, and what I picked up was these little bobblehead figurines. So there's one here of Captain America, one of Spider-Man, and here's one of Superman. So these were, in the store or whatever, and they were $2 each. So I thought for $2 I'd pick them up. They're kind of cool. I think they'll be a nice decoration around the retro dungeon. So I thought I'd pick those up. The next thing that I picked up from the same thrift shop was this right here, and it is a blue PS1 DualShock controller. Just unravel it here to get a better look. And there it is right there. I just really like the color of it. Price tag on there says $5, but I actually paid $2.50 because it was half price electronics day. So this qualifies for it. It just needs to be cleaned up. Buttons seem really good on it, so kind of pleased with that. If you watched one of my previous videos, I picked up one of these that was a teal color. So I think I'll probably pair these two together because they're kind of both sort of this blue color and just have some really unique looking controllers. This one probably should work pretty well though. So for $2.50, I'm pretty happy to pick that one up. The things actually start getting a lot better. I was getting a little bit discouraged actually at the start of it because I found the bobbleheads, but again, not game related necessarily, and I found the controller at the one, and then I went to another Goodwill and there was absolutely nothing there. I went to Lee's, which is one of the places I usually stop in. I've mentioned it in previous videos. They had nothing there. I mean, they had a whole bunch of junk sports titles for a variety of different platforms, but they were all like Xbox or PS2 sports games, so I wasn't really interested there. So starting to get kind of bummed out about going around. I wasn't really finding anything, and then I walked into the Value Village and got a pretty good score. Again, not a lot of stuff, but pretty quality titles. The first one, which is a PlayStation 1 title, is Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. And this one right here is in not too bad a shape. Probably needs to be resurfaced a little bit, but not that big of a deal. The person who owned this, Terry, decided to write his name on the disc and the manual, so not overly impressed with that, but I believe this was a pretty fun game, if I recall correctly, back in the day, so pretty happy to add that into the collection. The case is in decent shape, so pretty cool right there. The next game though is pretty awesome. I know a lot of people want to add this one to their collection, aren't really willing to pay the eBay prices to get their hands on it, but I got my hands on it really cheap. I don't know how the Sharks missed this one because it seemed to me like every other place was cleared out of games, and they must not have been paying close attention or something like that. But it's this one right here. It's a Dreamcast game, and it's Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Case is in great shape. The game itself is in just superb condition. It's almost mint, I'd say. So other than maybe a little bit of yellowing on the white part of the Dreamcast label, which is really common for Dreamcast games to get some yellowing on there. Other than that, it's not even that bad. It's pretty awesome find right there. I couldn't believe this was actually sitting on the shelf. Usually I don't find Dreamcast games. I think this is probably one of a few that I've actually picked up. My Dreamcast collection pretty much consists of, back in the day my dad bought a Dreamcast and over the course of a number of years we bought games for it, but they were kind of all at his place, and he gave those to me recently. But I never really see Dreamcast games out in the wild, so amazed actually to find this one. It actually keeps getting better though. I went to another thrift shop after that Value Village looking for things again. It was just really weak. There was no games there at all. I couldn't believe it really, that there was nothing there. There wasn't even like sports titles. So I was pretty amazed that they didn't have anything at all. Because usually I do okay at that thrift shop, but not this time around. But then I decided I'd go to another Value Village, which is also in my city, and I went over to the glass case and picked up a few items. So the first item that I picked up here is a controller pack for N64, and it was $1.99. I don't have a controller pack for my N64, so pretty excited to get that, and hopefully it works and everything like that. I'm not totally certain about N64 stuff. Didn't have one back in the day. I just picked one up recently, and because my Retro Dungeon's not finished, I haven't had much of a chance to really get anything going on with it, so I just want to see what that does exactly. I believe it's more memory for it, but I'm sure you guys know better than I do about it. N64 is definitely not my area of expertise. But I also picked up a SNES game, and it's this one right here, Street Fighter 2, and it was $6, so not necessarily a great price, but I didn't have it in my collection, and I'm trying to bulk up my SNES collection, so you know, pretty awesome find there for me. The label's not too bad. It's got some sort of like scratches and things on it, but it's pretty decent overall. Definitely needs a cleaning though. I was about to walk away from the glass case, and good thing I did a double take, because I almost missed this one. It wasn't actually sitting in the case, it was sitting behind it on top of a box, and usually these types of things are in the case, so I didn't really like notice it at first. I started walking away, and then I spotted it out of the corner of my eye, so I got the person to you know, put it on the counter and let me see exactly what it was, and I'm really happy to add this in. It is a Super Nintendo. I didn't have one of these. Every place I look for a Super Nintendo, I've seen them priced at upwards of $80, and I'm just really not willing to pay $80 for a Super Nintendo. This one here I paid $30 for, and it seems like it should work. It definitely needs a cleaning, but it's in pretty good shape. Like, there isn't a lot of yellowing. It's actually, once I clean it up, I think it's going to be pretty mint. There's a little bit of yellowing, it seems, on the controller ports, but right there, but otherwise it's pretty sweet, and to me it looks intact. I never had one of these back in the day, so there you go. You can see it looks pretty sweet back there. There's, you know, I think the common problem is that this piece here is broken off, and this one actually has, it's connected, so pretty happy with that. The only problem with this is I have no way of testing it right now, because I do not have a AC adapter for this. This also came with 2 controllers, which despite a little bit of yellowing on this one right here, they're in pretty decent shape. They definitely, again, need to be cleaned. I'll take them apart, clean them out and everything like that, but the buttons seem pretty good. They're not sticky or anything like that. They're pretty stiff and pretty decent, so I'm really happy to pick that up for $30, because like I said, everywhere else it's been like $80. So finally I have a system. I'll get an AC adapter for it, and I'll be able to actually play the SNES games that I've been collecting thus far. I'm so happy with today's pickups. It's fairly unbelievable actually, that I was able to get all of these things. Like I said, not a ton of stuff, but I think really high quality stuff, and if you're a collector, you probably realize that too. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you can, thumbs up this video, and feel free to comment down below as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all later.